This show was like the show that absolutely changed my life. And I also knew from that point that my life will not be the same anymore. I don't have to struggle as much as I did growing up. And that came very late in my life. Hello, I'm Aiken Chia and I am a content creator and the founder of Every Good Endeavour. So when I started this, right, I never ever thought I'd do it for a career. I just needed to pay my school fees. So I always was like, okay, once I'm done paying my school fees and graduate, I'll get a regular job. Sometimes I don't even have the time to deal with it. I just know that I need to make the money and I need to survive. So I was really on survival mode, fighter mode for a lot of the times. So I always laugh and tell people that I'm good at talking to the camera, I'm good at hosting because I'm so used to just talking to myself, entertaining myself, and like making myself laugh. Yeah, I feel like that developed out of just wanting to express myself, wanting to be heard, wanting to be seen. Like one of the darkest times was really in this house. It was like the worst state of relationships with my parents. We just didn't have money all the time. It was like we couldn't make ends meet. Lost, sad, helpless. I was just a teenager. I didn't know how to pay the bills. I didn't know how to like make things work, you know. At the start, it was like always knocking on doors, and like in traditional media, they have all the power, they have all the money, they have all the so-called control, right? I had entered 2 competitions. I won one and came in runner-up in the second. I was reaching a dead end with the artist management and I was just so frustrated and angry, and I realized, to me, every door had been closed already and I was so sad, but I really let it go. But during this month, one of my good friends, Alex, he actually brought me to this nice Mexican restaurant. He just said, "What do you mean you're not doing media anymore? You are supposed to be in media. Let me pay for your phone bills for the next like few months, because if you're gonna get an audition, right, and your phone line is cut," that's how broke I was, "then you cannot receive the success call, right, the callback." At that time when I have nothing, right, and I think I gave up on myself. Yeah, it meant the world to me that someone put their money where their mouth is. But the tides really turned when I joined my previous company to do a food show. Okay, so this is a hawker center in Singapore, and it's a place that every Singaporean who stays in the heartlands will be familiar with. And it's really a place that I've become familiar with, not just because I grew up eating at places like that, but because the nature of the turning point, the sort of commercial success that I experienced happened on a food show that centered a lot around hawker food. People started to recognize me as a face and as a host, and people started to recognize me for the content that I was producing as well. So on a personal level, I came into this as my last shot in media. I had a stake in the business and I was the face of the business as well. I think one of the most fulfilling things for us was that we got to celebrate hawkers who actually put in a lot of unseen work. It was a win all ways, right? For the audience, for us, and also for the hawkers. We did the show with no income, and we finally landed our first client after 6 months, and I got a chance to close that deal. I think one of the most surreal moments was I was taking a break, and my accountant texted me and said, "Hey, we transferred your share of the money." I was just like crying as I was crossing the road because I had never seen money like that before. Just to see it in my bank account now, it's like, it's real. I think that for a long time, right, I had a tendency to undersell myself as a talent for my skill set. I didn't have a lot of opportunity. So the moment that this big opportunity was presented to me, I felt obligated to say yes to everything. If I could do things over again, I would learn to say no harder, faster, quicker, and stick to it. Good business is not about profit. You can't go wrong with being generous. And if you were to go wrong, I would rather err on the side of being generous. So I would say now, I want to make sure that in all I do, I'm giving. Somebody has left better because of my presence and my work. Coming back to being creative, craftsmen, to be passionate, to do the things that we love to do. This space really marks that for us because it's like a whole new revamp of our core values and our vision and our mission. Because now I realize that it's not just I need to make money, but I have a responsibility and I have the ability to empower other businesses and right now, even creators. So the next chapter is actually really scary because I feel like I'm venturing into things that I've never done before. But to share stories like that, the process, the failures, the difficulty, the tears, and of course the next plan is also to continue to look out for creators, to empower them and to champion them the best that we know how.